Was there a time when she lifted you up or gave you advice that you needed?
After her pregnancy, after she had her daughter, the results were not good, and she lost the four, which was very unusual. I didn't have the same impact on her. And at a point, I said to her, we've been together for 8 years. Maybe it's time for a change for you. It's the end of your career. She gave me a pep talk that was incredible because it was reversed. She said, you can't say that. We are the best team we've always been. You can't think like that. That was amazing, actually.
How important is this beautiful rivalry between Sinner and Alcaraz?
The quality of their tennis, the physicality, because I think they brought tennis to even another level. I think it's amazing.
Yes, ladies and gentlemen, a very great pleasure to welcome one of the greatest tennis coaches on the planet. The Patrick Mouratoglou Academy is one of the best academies in the world. And now the author of Champion Mindset. Unbelievable. What a life you've had. You must be incredibly proud. What inspired you to write this book?
A few things. The first thing that inspired me was my personal trajectory and the fact that my childhood was extremely difficult. And when I was a child and then a teenager, I was set to fail everywhere. And I thought I had no chance in life to do anything. And so my trajectory made me change what I was supposed to become in order to be able to achieve my goals. And I think that this journey that I made was, for me, was a game changer. And I wanted to share that. I wanted to share it even also because what I learned from that journey that I made for myself, I used after that for the players, for all the players I worked with. And I thought it could be helpful for anyone, whether they're in sport, people are in sports or not in sports. It's not the question, because it was really a personal journey that basically prepared me for life and prepared me to be able to make the life that I wanted for myself. And when I was a teenager, I thought I had no control on anything, and I thought that my life would be a disaster. So, to answer the first thing that you said, honestly, I'm not proud of anything I've achieved. I mean, I'm not unproud, but I'm not proud. But I'm very proud of the journey I've made from 15, 16 years old to 26. I say 26 because it was more or less the age when I was completely ready. And I think this changed my life. And this I'm proud of because I think it was extremely difficult, because I was coming from really, really far. And if I was able to make it, I think, honestly, I know it's everybody says that if I did it, anyone can do it. But I really think anyone can do it. And I really think that the keys that I used, sharing them with people, can help them, not even if they don't come from as far as I was coming from, but can help them achieve their goals and make the life they want.
Yeah, it was interesting. Straight away, when you start reading it, you say more than coaching these Grand Slam winners, more than this incredible academy, it was the battle, the victory that you won over yourself. And that grabs you right away. Do you think, and have you met in your players, that they share this with you often, that internal battle?
Yeah, of course. I think it's very important that they share, because I'm here to help. That's my job. When players start collaborating with a coach, is because they think this person can help them achieve their goals. So to be able to help them, I need to understand what's inside. Of course, and all those battles that we all have. I don't want to say against ourselves, because we want to help ourselves, but sometimes we don't know how to do it in the right way, and we are very contradictory, all of us. Sometimes a lot of people want things, but what they do on a daily basis will definitely not bring them to where they want to go, because we do what we can, all of us, and without guidance, it's extremely difficult to achieve goals. So yes, they open up. Most of the time they do. I would say the immense majority of the time they did, and I think that it's my job to find a way to be trusted enough by my players so they really open up and they really feel I trust this person to help me going through that journey. We do it together. It's not, I don't want to be, and I never thought that coaching is about, it's like teaching. It's like a teacher that gives lessons. I'm not here to give any lesson. I'm here to embark on a journey with someone and figure out how to get there. And I don't know what I'm going to discover in this journey because at the start, I don't know my player. But what I know is that if we both together, like united and with a lot of trust, we're going to figure out for sure. We will.
Speaking to tennis players in interviews, I think maybe more than any other sport, perhaps golf, the mental side is just so important. How do you help players to reach that flow state where they don't get in their own way?
I mean, you're totally right. I think every sport and everything in life is very mental, everything, not only sports. I think the champions process differently from other people, and that's why they're successful. And I think if you don't deeply believe in yourself and in your ability to achieve something, this is not going to happen. So the journey is very much about finding ways to believe for simple reasons. If you don't deeply believe you're going to be a champion, for example, if you say it, but you don't believe it, because a lot of people say it, a lot of players say, I want to be number one, but yeah, everybody wants to be number one. Do you really believe you are going to be number one? And what does it take to be number one? If you don't really believe it, I mean, for sure, it's not going to happen. The question is, how do I learn to believe in it? And there is no magic. There is not one guy who's coming suddenly in their life and tell them you're going to be number one and they believe it. No, it would be too easy. And that's what I explain in the book. It's a job to learn to believe in yourself. It's a real job. And I think it's probably one of the most important things that you can achieve for yourself. And actually, it reminds me of this discussion I had with Richard Williams when I asked him how he managed from 2 children to make 2 number ones in the world. And he said this very interesting thing. He said, well, I found out that a tennis match is won or lost with a few points, like break points that you make or you don't make, break points that you save or you don't save. And in those moments, the tension is at its highest peak because the players know it's now. It's the money time. It's now. So this brings a lot of stress. And he said to me, I always believe that the people who are the most confident are the ones who are going to handle the stress better, which is 100% true, by the way. So I just work for my daughters to become extremely confident. And then I was sure that whatever they would do in life, they would be successful. Of course, it's not enough. You also need to work. I mean, but what is true is that it's that without it, you don't achieve anything. And to get the confidence, it's a job. Why? Because you and me and everybody who's listening to the podcast, our confidence, our self-esteem is the result of the hundreds of experiences that we went through every single day of our lives and what we made of them. We go through an experience and we immediately, because that's human nature, we make conclusions about ourselves depending on the outcome of the experience. Your parents also made a lot of, I don't know your parents, but all parents do. They also have a lot of certitudes about you as a child. Oh, my son is good for that, but he has no talent for this, or he's not good at that. Finished. The door is closed. You will never do it. Never. But we do the same for ourselves. We have an experience. It doesn't go well. Even a small one. Oh, this is not for me. I'm not good at that. Or, yeah. So our perception of ourselves is only the result of all those experiences and what we made of them. So the only way to build confidence, real confidence, is to go through positive experiences and victories, and can be very small victories. Doesn't matter. If you're supposed to wake up tomorrow morning and go to the gym, and when the alarm rings, you're lazy and you say, okay, I'll go tomorrow. You just have a negative experience that makes yourself have an opinion on you. And if you go to sleep every night with a lot of defeats because it was up to you to make it a victory, but you did not, and you do this every single day, imagine the perception you have of yourself after a few months. But same if you wake up and you do it. And it's not, I'm not saying it's easy, because it's never easy to wake up and go to the gym. It's easier to keep sleeping, but it's up to you to build your confidence. Up to you. And as a coach, I help players build their confidence. And that's one of the big difference between the champions and the other ones. The champions have much higher confidence, much, much higher, but they made it, they build it. It's work. It's getting out of their comfort zone. It's making efforts, is being courageous when others would say, oh, I don't do it. You know, I also say in the book, every time I had someone proposing me something that was putting me out of my comfort zone, I said yes. Never did commentary for TV. They proposed me one day, you want to do it tomorrow? Somebody's missing. Sure, I do it. You want to do a live on TV? I never did TV in my life. We start tomorrow. Yes, I do it. But this is victories. Even though the first day I'm not great, I did it. I was scared and I said yes and I did it. So all those things make at the end someone that will be confident, that will have really a good opinion on himself, or a bad one.
I remember you were a beautiful analyst on Fox Sports. I was a young assistant producer in the office when you were working with us then. So it's fascinating to have seen you on TV all those times, and we all start for the first time.
At the end, I was working on every Grand Slam on Eurosport, on ESPN, and on Fox Asia. I was doing the three. Yeah.
Wow. So we could go on infinite pathways, and all of them would fascinate me, but I want to ask you, in terms of Serena, in terms of helping her create a champion mindset, is there one instance that stands out for you, which really was a beautiful moment that resonated, and vice versa? Was there something that she said or did for you that changed your life?
Well, I think Serena has the ultimate champion's mindset. And I thought that before working with her. Like, I didn't know her. I was watching the matches, watching her attitude, listening to her on interviews, because I was watching a lot of tennis, as you can imagine. I was impressed. I was really impressed. And when I started to work with her, it confirmed me that her mindset made her career. Of course, she has qualities, but she developed them also. So it's really the mindset that changes everything, that makes a difference between a champion or a great player. A great player is a top 10. A champion is a Grand Slam winner. So there is a huge difference of mindset. So in what is she different? And actually, I was thinking also, what was interesting is that when I started to work with her, she was in a difficult moment. She hadn't won a Grand Slam for 2 years. She just lost in the first round in a Grand Slam at Roland Garros. And then she calls me and we start. And I have one anecdote that is really, for me, striking. We are in Wimbledon, so the first tournament that we do together, and she qualifies for the quarterfinals, I think, or semis. I don't remember. I tell the story in the book. And then I'm in the restaurant in Wimbledon, and she runs to me and she tells me, well, Patrick, you know what? Whatever happens now till the end of the tournament, on Monday, I'm back to top 3 in the world. And I'm really shocked by that. First, whatever happens in that tournament, so she doesn't think she's going to win. And second, she's happy about top 3, but we're talking about Serena Williams. She had 13 Grand Slams. And I'm not faking it. I'm really surprised. And I tell her, and what? And then there is a silence. And then she says, but it's cool, no? I said, but no. It doesn't matter. And then that's it. And in the evening, she texts me and she said, sorry for what I said today. That was completely ridiculous. Number 3 is terrible. Actually, number 2 also. But this is striking. Why? Because when I heard that from her, I thought, well, from what I know about her, this is not her. And what happened in the last 2 years affected the way she was thinking and processing. So she was not processing anymore like Serena. So she was not Serena anymore. She was number 6 in the world and not winning Grand Slams. And I know a few of those things brought her back to who she really was and how she really was processing. And actually, she won Wimbledon that year. Then she won the Olympics, 2 gold medals 2 weeks after. Then she won the US Open, and then she won the Masters, and she was back to number 1 when it came like this in a few months. So again, the way she thinks, the way she processes is unbelievable. And one of the things I really loved in her, and I talk about that in the book, I say, whenever you have a setback or bad, something bad happens to you, you're failing, most of the people find an excuse. If you listen to them when they explain, it's never their fault. Never their fault. Serena, no excuse. Never heard her say, oh yeah, but bad luck, it's because of this, because no. For me. And we had discussions about, she told me, oh, remember that Australian Open 2008, or I don't know if it's the right year, but I wasn't there. Huh? But she said, you remember, I should never have lost this tournament. I should have won it. And then I say, but you remember in last 16, you broke the ligaments of your ankle. And she said, and what? I should have won on one leg. But she really believes it. Like, this cannot be an excuse. So she pushes it really far, but that's unbelievable. Why it's important not to find an excuse? Because when you find an excuse, you don't learn anything from that failure. Nothing, because there is an excuse. And there is always so much to learn from every failure, because if you think about it, failing is not a problem, because it's not the end of the road. You know where you want to go. Of course, you're not going to go there like this. It's going to take time. You're going to have wins, you're going to have losses. But if every time you have a loss, you learn something from it, and there is always something to learn, then you're going to get there. If every time you have a loss, you don't learn anything, it's going to be difficult, because you don't learn. You learn much more when you lose than when you win, because you understand why you lost and it's always the question that I ask my player when he loses or she loses. I say, okay, you play the same match tomorrow, what do you change? There is something to learn, because you're not going to lose it again tomorrow, right? You lost today, okay, but what do you learn so it doesn't happen? This is the thing, because I always say, okay, I make mistakes, but I never do mistakes twice, because I learn. Otherwise, you're going to do it over and over and over again. So yeah, that's something that really in Serena is really striking. Zero excuse, and she's tough on herself. Like, for example, if she hits a double fault, she would say, this is unprofessional. So that's how she sees it, even though she would go for a winner sometimes on second serves. She doesn't allow herself. So this is really tough. I think she's really, really a bit too tough on herself, because sometimes it hurts her. But that's her. And she's so demanding with herself to a point that is difficult to imagine. And she never makes excuses.
And how about you? Because now you're a public figure, you have millions of followers online. Is it a lot to always have to be strong, to be the coach, to inspire? Was there a time when she lifted you up or gave you advice that you needed?
No, she never gave me advice, but I remember a time when, after her pregnancy, after she had her daughter, the results were not good for several reasons. And so she played 4 Grand Slam finals, and she lost the 4, which was very unusual. And she was playing for the record of all times at that time. So that was a lot of pressure. I think her daughter was taking a lot of space in her mind, in everything. Anyway, that's how it was. And we never found a solution for her to win more. And at some point I was really, because I felt that I didn't have the same impact on her, because they were subject that I wanted her to change stuff, and she was not. And at a point, I said to her, "Listen, maybe I'm not. We've been together for 8 years. Maybe it's time for a change for you. It's the end of your career. You need to make that extra Grand Slam. And I mean, it's clearly not working. We're not making it, and I don't want you to waste the end of your career. Maybe it's better. Maybe someone will do it better than me." And she gave me a pep talk that was incredible, because it was reversed. She said, "You can't say that. We are the best team we've always been. You can't think like that." That was amazing, actually. That was amazing. I didn't expect that at all from her, but yeah. So she always stood by me. That was incredible from her, and yeah, this pep talk was something.
I bet. Wow, that's a piece of tennis history. I love it. Tell me about Naomi Osaka, because in terms of champion mindset, I mean, she's a beautiful talent, and this sport is unbelievably rough, and people forget players are human as well. How do you lift her up and inspire her?
Well, when I started to work with her, I don't think she needed it. I think she was extremely motivated, and she still is, by the way. So she didn't need that. So how to lift her up, I don't know. I could answer you better with Serena, because for her, she went through that. I mean, Naomi too, of course. And I think everyone at some point goes through that. I think Novak at the moment struggles with his motivation, which is completely understandable if you look at what he achieved. And there is not much more to achieve, because he won the battle of his life, which was to become the greatest of all times, which he is now, with all the records he's made. Yeah, Naomi was extremely motivated. I was really struck by her discipline, because practice was tough. I thought there was a lot of work to do with her, and even though every morning before practice we were practicing in a place where there was a running track, I was arriving earlier, and before her warm-up of 1 hour before practice, she was running alone on the track every morning. So discipline and motivation was really impressive. And I really loved also how she went out of her comfort zone, because we made a lot of changes, and she did it without any discussion. She made all the changes, which is not easy, because players are very often scared to lose something when they change something, which can happen. Actually, I'm not saying it cannot happen, but the champions want to progress all the time. And Serena, throughout her whole career, she always wanted to progress. She was watching tennis every evening after the day. Most of the time she was texting me saying, "Oh, I've seen this guy do that. I want to learn that." I mean, we're talking about Serena. And Naomi also was saying, for example, before the preseason, she said to me, "I'm excited because I'm going to learn new things." I mean, she's a multiple Grand Slam winner and #1 in the world. So that's amazing when you see guys who are way lower and they think they know everything. It's a very different attitude. And, in my book, I talk about the comfort zone and the progress zone. And those champions are in the progress zone. And, the two examples that you asked me to talk about, Serena and Naomi, they're always in the progress zone, which is really amazing. And, the more time you spend in the progress zone, which means out of the comfort zone, the more you want to be there, because that's the exciting zone. It's like you have adrenaline because you have stress. You don't know what's going to happen. It's you discovering. It's exciting. When you're in the comfort zone, you're scared to go in the progress zone, and the more time you spend in your comfort zone, the less you want to go in the progress zone. So it's basically moving from the comfort to the progress zone. That's what's important to build the confidence, also your self-esteem. So that's amazing how they were always. And I gave you the example of TV, that I did TV even though it was completely out of my comfort zone. I didn't know anything about it. When I started coaching tennis, never gave a tennis lesson in my life, and I was 33 years old and never thought I would be a tennis coach. I completely went out of my comfort zone also. And in today, if you ask me if I'm in my comfort zone, I'm bored. You have no idea. I don't want to be there. For me, it's hell. I'm only excited when I'm doing something I don't know, or something new, or something that pushes me to be out of my comfort zone. Otherwise, it's boring. But people who are always in the comfort zone cannot see that, because they don't know anything else than the comfort zone. They feel insecurity, but it's a false security, because they don't know, but they're stuck. That's where they are. They're completely stuck. They cannot move forward.
I think this is fascinating because it applies to everything and everyone who's ever lived. You know, they don't have to have ever played tennis, and it's very relatable to all of us.
Yeah, but my book is not about tennis. I mean, talk about tennis, but it's a life book. It's not a tennis book.
Exactly. Well, in terms of generations, where I grew up with Pete Sampras and Agassi, and I remember a 17-year-old Roger Federer coming along and beating Pete Sampras. And then I think people were maybe sad to see the back of Roger and Rafa, and then Novak solidifies his place as the best. But how important is this beautiful rivalry between Sinner and Alcaraz now? How important is it for the game?
Well, I remember, and you do remember too, that when Roger and then Rafa stopped their career, or even before they did, when they were towards the end of their career, all the commentators were saying, "Oh my God, it's going to be terrible when they're going to stop. Like tennis is going to just be destroyed by the fact that they're not there anymore." And I remember I said, no, it's going to be super exciting. There are a lot of young guys that play great tennis, different personalities. I mean, change is good too. Of course, they were the best of all times. What they achieved is unbelievable. Everybody loved them, their personalities. Yeah, but we shouldn't think that after that there is nothing. And now you see the Sinner-Alcaraz rivalry, the quality of their tennis, the physicality, because I think they brought tennis to even another level. I think it's amazing. It's amazing. And it's amazing to see how they push each other, which sounds like a cliche, but it's not. And I think the last final, the final of the US Open, showed that it's not a cliche. Because if you remember, in Wimbledon, Sinner beat Alcaraz. And during the match and after the match, Alcaraz felt, wow, this guy is, I mean, today is too good for me. I mean, he's playing too fast. I can't even express my tennis. It's too good. And he got pushed by this loss. He got really pushed, and he decided, I need to progress, which is crazy if you think about what he achieved throughout the season, his level of play. He needed to progress, and he knew it, and he worked on 3 different things that he could, use in the final of the US Open to beat Sinner. And that's amazing. Same. We're talking about wanting to progress rather than staying there. And in tennis, if you don't progress wherever you are, other players are going to progress and they're going to pass you. So you have to progress. It's like riding a bike. If you stand still, you're going to fall. You have to keep moving forward all the time. So they pushing each other. And I think in terms of game quality, physicality, even the mental side, I mean, they're incredible. They're as incredible as Roger and Rafa before Novak came in. Same domination, same level of domination. And let's see if there is a Novak coming in between those two and becomes the greatest. Everything's possible. That's what's great.
Speaking of generational talents, I love that video of you and Ronaldo, the Brazilian Ronaldo. Yeah. You must have had many cool interactions in your life with different athletes. What was the one that resonated with you the most? And do you think other athletes are able to give you something that you can use in tennis or in your coaching? Is there anything that stuck with you?
Of course. Yeah, I'm lucky to be able to play, or coach unbelievable people, whether they're sports people, musicians, or actors, or business people. And I can learn from anyone. I learned a lot also from business people, top business people that I played with. Yes, I have one. Of course, I learned from everyone. I learned a lot from Mike Tyson also, or that are champions, that are icons. But one I remember that is not as famous. It's a lady who was very young. She was 22, I think, but she was incredible in swimming. She was French champion already, 6 or 7 time European champion, world champion, but she couldn't win the Olympics until she made it when she was 22, gold medal. And she told me what she did to win that gold medal, and I think it was unbelievable. She said to me that she was very nervous when it was coming to Olympic Games and the race for the gold, and she wanted to make sure she would win it. So what she did, she decided to do all the, I don't know what it's called in swimming. In tennis, we call it tournaments. It's not tournaments, but you understand what I mean. All the tournaments leading to the finally the Olympic Games at the end of this, after 1 year. She did it for 1 year. All the tournaments she played, she decided on purpose to make a mistake. For example, when they're supposed to all dive, she would let everyone dive and dive 1 second after. So she started very late. Or she would decide to go full for the first 25 meters instead of, going fast, but keeping energy for what's next. She was on purpose, and she won all the races doing a mistake every time. And when she did, she said to me, "I knew the gold medal. I couldn't lose it, because even though I would be nervous and make a mistake, I know I would have won." So I was so confident when I again, an example, by the way, of built confidence. I was so and I used it for Serena, because she wanted, after she became a world number. Actually, I don't think I used it, because I did this before this lady told me that, but it reminded me of what I did with Serena. So 2012 we start. She ends the season winning the Masters, and in January she becomes number one again. And then she tells me, "Okay, I have another challenge now. I want to win Roland Garros because it's so difficult. I won it in 2002. We're in 2013, and I haven't won it since then. Can you make a plan for me to win Roland Garros?" So I made a plan. I made a plan for her, and then we had big tournaments on clay just before Roland Garros, like every year, Rome, Madrid, Rome. And I thought, okay, we have to do something so she knows she's going to win Roland Garros. I wanted her to go to Roland Garros with the confidence, because she had no confidence in her winning Roland Garros because of the history she had with this tournament. So I said to her, "Okay, you're going to play Madrid. I want you to play Madrid without your first serve. So no ace, no serve winners. It's a big weapon for her. Only second serves. Only second serves. So you have to rally more. You have to fight more on the court. You have to really learn to deal with the surface to be able to win." And she did. And when she won Madrid with no first serve, the level of confidence was extremely high. And believe it or not, but that season, she won 100% of her matches on clay. She won Rome. She won Madrid. She won first. What's the name of the tournament in the US? There is a tournament on green clay that she won. Then she won Madrid. She won Rome. She won Roland Garros, and she won Bostad. 26 matches out of 26 on clay. And before that, I remember after the end of the season, the journalists were asking me about Roland Garros, and they said, "Oh, she's not good on clay. How do you think she's going to do on clay?" And I said, "She's going to do well. Don't worry."
Unbelievable. Would you say that you're an innovator, a bit of a maverick sometimes? Starting UTS, I hear it's coming back to London. How exciting is that for you to have this new venture? I mean, in golf, we have the TGL. I feel like in football, we have the King's Cup. All sports seem to be innovating now. How do you feel about the changes?
I'm happy because UTS was the first one. You're naming two others that came after us. It's true. We were the first one in 2020. I don't know if I'm an innovator, but I never wanted to be doing what we are supposed to do in today's society. There is what we're supposed to say, that's what we're supposed to do, and I don't want to be a sheep. I don't want to be a sheep, and I want to feel free to think and free to do. That's what's important for me. So if nobody did it before, good. If someone did it before, it's okay too. It's not because I don't want to do only thing that nobody did before, but I want to do what I think makes sense. And So that's why I did UTS. I did UTS because not because nobody did it, but because I thought we need to do something for the sport, and especially the sports that are aging, like tennis, with the fan base that is 61 years old and getting 1 year older every year. We need to renew the fan base. We need to find a way to for 40 under 40 years old to follow tennis, to become tennis fans, and not only go to the stadium because it's in their city and it's fun, but really like tennis enough to follow it throughout the year. So I found out that I tried to understand why tennis was in that situation, and I realized that I have a cramp. Sorry, that the tennis, because I played that the format of tennis was not at all what people are consuming today. The new generation, the new generation is consuming formats that are short, that are super dynamic without downtime, which are very immersive, very authentic, like everything that tennis is not. Tennis is very long. You don't even know how long it's going to be when you start a match. It's very slow. The downtime is enormous. A minimum 85% of downtime. Like imagine the ball is in play 15% or less of the time, which is really little. It's not immersive. It's not authentic because players are all very nice, very polite. Okay, great, but let's be yourself. So I decided to do something that would fit the criterias of the new generation. So something a bit crazy, 45 minutes match, 3 or 4 quarters, depending on the score. No downtime at all because very little time between the points and coaching between the points. Every time there is potentially a downtime, something's happening. So, and it works because it was a big bet, and I invested a lot of money and time. So it was very risky, but I'm really happy with the result because today we are filling up the stadiums. I mean, the last one we were sold out in like 48 hours, and I mean 2 days, more than 15,000 people, stadium full. We are broadcasted all over the world. I mean, it's a big success, and we're going to Hong Kong. Next one is in Hong Kong. We went to everywhere, all the continents. So that's amazing, and I think the potential of UTS is huge. So, but yeah, I never thought, is it possible or not? I never thought, oh wow, do we do this or do I have to ask for authorization? I do what I feel is right, and whether someone did it before or not doesn't matter for me.
Unbelievable. It's very fresh. And again, a piece of history for the sport. I'm conscious of time, so we wrap up with a very quick fire. So who's one past legend that you would love to coach?
Pat Rafter.
Favorite career moment?
Serena winning Roland Garros. For me, it was the first time my player would win Roland Garros, and I'm French. And it was the day of my birthday, believe it or not.
Perfect.
Best birthday present ever.
Most talented player, past or present? Biggest natural talent?
There are a few. I'm hesitating between Xavier Malisse, Roger Federer, Nick Kyrgios. I named 3.
Wow. Interesting. And toughest?
The toughest? I don't know. I mean, which way you mean toughest? I would say I think toughest is Novak, because he had all the crowds against him all his career. He was denied to play tournaments. He refused to do the vaccination. I mean, you need an incredible character, whether you like him or not, whether you agree or not with him. You have to be really tough to be able to endure that and keep going.
Yeah, built different. And what about the most hardworking that you've ever seen?
That I have coached Simona Halep. Incredible. Most hardworking in the history is probably Rafa, I think.
What's one thing that people don't know about Serena?
They know a lot about her. It's quite open on social media about everything, so I don't know if I can. Good question. Not many people know about it, but I've said it. But that she won Roland Garros with 40 degrees fever and not being able to get out of the bed, except to play the match without warm up from the start to the semifinal, which is for me one of the greatest achievements in sport in the history, because she was literally all day. And one day I remember I was at her apartment in Paris and she was in bed because she was spending 100% of the time in bed. 40 degrees fever. She was dying. And I told her, Serena, stand up and let's go walk in the street at least for a few minutes so you have fresh air. She tried. She could not. She went back to bed and she was playing matches and she was winning them. That's unbelievable. Without warm-up. We didn't do one practice session, one warm-up before matches. Going from the bed to the match, back to the bed. That's crazy.
Yeah. Yeah, it's like Michael Jordan's flu game. Wow, very special talent. And last one then, what would you like to be remembered for of all the things you've done?
Wow, that's a tough one.
It's supposed to be a quick fire question. I don't want to lay that on you
UTS.
Right at the end of the interview.
UTS, I would be happy to be remembered as, but UTS has become the success that I hope it will become. It's already a success, but much more than today, that creating something that is able to stay way after me and bring a lot of new fans and improve the game in terms of bringing all the new generation to start to become tennis fans.
I'm glad I asked. Patrick, I've been doing interviews for almost 15 years. This has been one of the most interesting. So it's a great honor. Thank you so much, and all the very best for the rest of your career. Maximum respect.
That's a big compliment. Thank you very much. I really appreciate it. Thank you very much. It was a pleasure for me too. Big pleasure.